so many realized souls and saints and santas in India. I guess part of that you had answered Punya Bhumi, and you need all that karmic thing, and where the soil and the environment is conducive for the growth. The second follow-up, I guess, is why do we see the reference to Himalayas with multiple saints? Is it because of the solitude, and is it because of the...
Okay. So there are two parts to this question. First part of the question is why there are so many saints, so many enlightened beings in India compared to the rest of the world. Is that question? First question. Second question is why people go to Himalayas? For a change of place. So let us answer the question now. First question, why there are so many saints and Mahatmas are in India? So India is an ancient civilization. It's an old civilization. It's the longest living civilization compared to any part of the civilization. Maybe next is China. Okay. An old civilization. It's like an old man, equivalent of old man. So the civilization has a wisdom which is built over a period of time. This wisdom of the civilization, which is coming for several centuries and generations, is a cumulative knowledge. It's a wisdom knowledge, wisdom base. India is a huge amount of wisdom base. See, anybody, even in our life, as a person becomes old, he has gone through so many experiences in life, he has understood something. Yes, maturity is there. Like India as a civilization has matured over a period of time. First thing, it's an old civilization. So because it's long-standing civilization, there's a lot of work has been done by civilization, in the civilization, to understand how to get rid of suffering, how to become free. So this I call it as spiritual evolution or maturity. A lot of people have worked in the years. So now this work, what is done, they have made it available. They didn't hide it. They made it available to the society in terms of education system, Gurukula system, a system of teaching. The system of teaching came as a Gurukula Padhati, master to disciple, the wisdom started flowing. So there's a system which is developed because of maturity. There is a delivery mechanism, there's a distribution mechanism, knowledge. So because of that, for wisdom to flow, a path is established. Yeah. So then when the path is established, there is a possibility that more people will get wisdom. For example, in IIT has a quality education system. There are 10,000 students join IIT. At least 100 of them may go to CEO position. Once you have a system, the possibility that some of them will shine will increase. If you don't have a system, it will not be there. It will be random. In that sense, there's a system in India which is created, which transfers the wisdom from one generation to another generation. The possibility of more people getting wisdom, more people getting enlightened, more people become masters coming out, increases. The possibility increases. But there's no guarantee. All students who are joining IIT will not be topmost. But IITs in general produce more brilliant students. Similarly, India has a system equivalent of spiritual IIT. So there is more possibility of more brilliant students, more masters coming out of this system. That's why India had more saints and masters. Wisdom got transferred. The wisdom transfer requires a system of education called Gurukula and a living master. Jyot se jyot jaga. One living master can light up another lamp. Enlightenment to happen, a living master is required. So then system doesn't work, collapses when there is no enlightened master. But system is just system. Then it will become system will start becoming deteriorating. Right? So India had somehow a system where more and more enlightened masters were there, teachers were there, system is there. So there's a possibility of more people getting wisdom. That's why India had more number of enlightened masters. Does that answer your first part of the question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So in the rest of the world, this system was not established. So that's why there are 1 or 2 masters will come somewhere. There, I would say, accident of nature. Somebody comes. And many masters who come, they always have a reference with respect to India. In fact, earlier days, India was called Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda. It was a bigger landmass. The rishis from India spread to different part of the world and spread the Sanatana Dharma, wisdom. They also tried to establish Gurukula and teaching system in elsewhere in the world. Probably they were not successful. Sanatana Dharma spread, but system of education was not very effective. Whereas in India, the system of education was more effective and more masters were produced. For example, Iran, the followers of Zend-Avesta, they are nothing but followers of Rigveda. Rigveda has gone from Iran to Zend-Veda in some form of Zend-Veda. But the system of education and foreign invasions destroyed the civilization there. In India also, there's so much of destruction happened. It's to the education system. Foreign invaders, rulers, they tried to destroy the education system. But still, somehow, this education system was continuing, thanks to the vision of Bhagavan Vedavyasa. And thanks to the commitment of many masters who came into it. They tried to uphold the system, even though it was getting attacked in many ways. That probably didn't happen in the elsewhere in the world, even though Sanatana Dharma spread to everywhere. Each continent had Rishi who had gone there to establish. But probably to establish, maintain that political support, education system was not there in that sense. So India had more such systems. And from generation to generation, good practices were handed down as samskaras. So we are fortunate that we are born in Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda, where good samskaras come, and there is a possibility of education, spiritual education, it's much more easy way. It's equivalent of America, Silicon Valley, California. It's called Silicon Valley. Innovations happen day in and day out. Newer innovation, most of the technology innovations happen there. In Bangalore, Silicon City, a lot of innovations happens. It requires an ecosystem. Ecosystem is required. So that ecosystem was much more mature in India compared to the rest of the world. Civilization is old. People put a lot of effort to bring. That way, India is a Punya Bhumi. So being born in India, we are much more exposed to this good samskara and this system. That's a good, because of good punya. So does it answer your first part of the question?
Yeah.
Second part of the question, why many people go to Himalayas? So this actually, there are 2 parts to this question. It's a myth being created about Himalayas. Myth. You don't need Himalayas to get enlightened. It is not a mountaineering journey. It's an inner journey. Wherever you are, you can get realized, provided you know how to go in. Otherwise, why you have to go to Himalayas? To do inner journey, self-enquiry, go inwards. You don't need Himalayas. But you should know how to go inward. Inner journey, possibilities required. Right? So not that possibility, you have to find a master. A realized master is difficult to find. So when people go to Himalayas, they didn't go for Himalayas, love of Himalayas. Some of the realized masters stayed in Himalayas. They went in search of masters. The wise men were staying in some places. They were staying in riverbeds like Ganga, Narmada, and some so-called sacred places. They stayed. So you go there to get the wisdom, because the wisdom is available in some pockets. Himalaya is one such pocket. in the ancient times. It was not available in locally city and places. So that way, it is not about Himalayas. Search for a realized master. For self-realization or enlightenment, you don't have to go anywhere. You have to go inwards. It's not a place. But the problem is how to go inwards. That wisdom is not available in the ancient times. Is that clear? So then, there is saying Tirtham Karoti Tirthani. You don't have to go to Himalayas. You go to a holy place also, like riverbed, like Ganga. Some of the people spent time there. Masters were there. Now, why masters are living in riverbed and Himalayas? Because to self-realization or self-realization, it requires introspection. It requires a calm environment. It requires time and effort. So they may possibly stay in some places. And some of them are monks. Is it clear? So now, in that situation where master is not able, we are not able to find, information is not easy to find, you may have to go to some places. That's the old. But there is a pitfall here. Himalayas is branded as a spiritual place. Everybody who has to get enlightened has to go to Himalayas. That's a false myth being created. Without understanding a real significance of Himalayas. Okay. Any communication uses a graphical language or auditory language or a visual language. When you speak a spiritual teaching, a graphical language is used, is misused and misunderstood by the human mind. So graphical language is Shiva stays on top of Himalayas. Himalaya is given as an example of place where Shiva stays, Kailasa. Okay. A physical place is given as example of place of Shiva, staying Shiva. The Himalaya is a mountain, right? We don't understand the graphical language, then we misunderstand. It's graphical language called what we call as in Alankara. A person, Shiva, is enlightened being, consciousness, and he is on top of the mountain. Have you heard this phrase? He got a promotion, he is top of the mountain. Top of the mountain is a phrase. He is not sitting on top of the mountain. He is peak of joy. It's called top of the mountain. So top of the mountain represents peak of the mind, top of the mind. It's not a physical place. So somebody is in the peak of evolution. He is sitting on top of Himalayas. He doesn't mean that he is in Himalayas or he is in Kerala or he is in Africa. It is telling
graphical language.
Inner state told in graphical language. Mountain is used as an example. Okay. Then it's Hima is used. Ice, snow. Snow is because snow is white. The white snow represents the sattvic mind. So somebody is on top of the mind. Somebody has reached the peak of sattvic mind. He is Shiva. Another way of saying it. Okay. Now the graphical language, you start understanding, you start going to Himalayas. What to do? Then another value is this. Himalaya, Shiva is on top of Kailasa. Mountain, what is it? Kailasa. So actually, our human body, the spinal cord and Sahasrara is Kailasa. Physical place is given example, but the journey is inner. Okay. On top of our Sahasrara, this is the place Kailasa, Sahasrara Chakra. Kailasa means Kaivalya Lasa. He alone shines, the consciousness alone shines at the top of the head. It is in Chakra, Kundalini system, Shiva, Kailasa. It's a graphical language. Example is given Kailasa Parvata. Okay. Now, graphical language, you start confusing and take the graphical description as physical description, then you have to go to Himalayas. Go to Himalayas means go do inward journey, go to the top of the head, in Sahasrara, Kundalini rises to Sahasrara, you meet Shiva. Now, and if you go to Kailasa today, you will not be able to find Shiva there. Because the movies, the stories, you have given impression that you have to go to Kailasa, find a Shiva. The meaning of that, our body is Kailasa Parvata, and go to the top of the head, Sahasrara, Kundalini energy rises, Shakti rises to Shiva, you will find Mukti. So what happens now? Graphical language is used and physical pace is considered given, so that you start confusing with the geographical. Correct? So that's the problem. So that's where the graphical language, I'll give you an example. He roared like a lion. Means he started like roaring like a lion, is it? Huh? If graphical language you don't understand, oh, what kind of a person is that? Ah. So graphical language is used in Purana. That graphical language, people start misunderstanding. Many places, graphical languages, words with double meaning are used. Okay, I'll give you another example. All rishis are in caves. Rishis stay in caves, it said, right?
Yeah.
So then I have one student. I have to go and sit and meditate in cave only. Because cave only enlightenment happens. I'm telling a real story, real student. I'm not saying stories. So this person goes place to place to find a cave to meditate. Okay. Because if you meditate in a cave, because Rishi is in a cave in meditate, you would get enlightenment. In earlier days, they didn't have a proper place to stay. They'll find a cave. But if you sit in a cave, meditation, enlightenment doesn't happen. To construct a house is too much of stress. Okay, let me use a place and stay, meditation. But now you have a house, you go and find a cave to meditate. This person went. In one place, the cave was full of poisonous snakes. Another place, a bear caught him. Instead of getting enlightenment, he became food for somebody. Now, Rishi's meditating in a cave is wrongly understood. That comes from the Upanishad sloka, ya nisha nihitam guhayam. So the Atma is in a dark cave, is said. Nihitam guhayam, dark cave. Okay, that translated to graphical language, it will become a cave. Rishi said that. Right? Nihitam guhayam, the dark cave, Atma is there. So you have to find in dark, you have to find a dark cave to find Atma. It's wrong. The dark cave referred here is the intellect, buddhi. The darkness is referred Adnana. In the dark cave of buddhi, Adnana, you have to find the Atma. That is it. Now that becomes a story becomes Himalaya, story becomes Rishis. You go to start finding instead of going to dark cave of the buddhi, you go to dark cave of Himalayas. So, understand?
Yeah. People hang on to the
People hang on to it. I'll tell you a story of Osho. Osho was at that time, he is enlightened, but he was not popular. He was in very early stages, enlightened, but not popular.
Okay.
So then somebody calls him to show that this curse is there for a meeting, public meeting. Public meeting is he's not popular. Somebody wants to expose him. So what they did, they created an occasion. A Jain monk is there, a monk, Jain monk. He is so famous, okay, so well known. If he starts speaking, one auditorium, stadium full of people will come. So popular. So Osho was called to give a thanks to the monk after he finished his speech, so that Osho's face is exposed to audience. This Thanksgiving, not a main speaker. This monk spoke for 1 hour. Okay. Then people started going. After main speaker goes, people started going. Then Osho came on stage. Okay. He said, sit quietly and listen. For 1 hour, you listen to an idiot who doesn't understand philosophy Chinese, who has no clue about what he's speaking. Okay. Okay. He stared. The audience were stunned. 10,000 people were there. They were stunned. This monk, so famous all over India, he's saying idiot in front of him. This idiot doesn't even know what is a graphical language and what is a reality. This idiot saying when who is that? Mahavir Jain got enlightened. In his body, instead of blood, there's milk was there. That's written in Purana. Can there be milk in human body? This fellow is saying milk is there. Then Mahavir Jain didn't have blood in his body. His milk was there. So something got cut, milk came. He doesn't understand graphical language. So this guy is taking graphical language and trying to make it. He's a fool. Then people, after he started Thanksgiving, instead of giving thanks, he started speech. People listened to 1.5 hours for Osho. He became very popular. Okay. See, graphical language translated, start translating, something will happen. Understand? Dangerous. That language has to be decoded to understand the truth. Right? So after that, what happened? The Osho was attacked by followers of this monk. His car was waylaid. But Osho became popular because he condemned and he brought out the truth at that time. So I'll tell you graphical language.
So people who promoted it.
Yeah. In this thing, right? In the storybooks, a beautiful girl is described. Her eyes are like lotus leaves. Her teeth is like pearls. Okay. Her nasika is that is a flower. So if you want to find such a girl, you will become old and die. So Himalaya is a graphical language. Graphical language represents the peak of consciousness, Sattva-guna, mind which is full of purity. Peak of that you find Atma. Cave is a graphical language to go inwards in the buddhi. Okay. Now, people don't understand. So people start creating brand images, brand. Today, if you have somebody has to be a guru, in his biodata, how many years he has spent in Himalaya should be there. Otherwise, he's not a fit to be a guru. So you put besides beard and other weird things. How many years he spent in Himalayas and which realized master he met in Himalayas should be then biodata. Okay. Without understanding, self-realization is not a mountaineering exercise. Self-realization is an inner journey. Wherever you are, you can do inner journey. Did I answer your question? Why do you have to go to Himalayas? Now, if you are planning to go to Himalayas, there are no problems. Enjoy the journey. Okay. There's winter, it's cold weather. You may catch pneumonia, take medicine.
Actually, at age 25, I spent 1 month in a search and rescue missions through Rishikesh. So as I said, medical doctor have been there for a volunteer for a Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. So, it's a great place, solitude and all that, but you clarified very nicely.
Sir, so, when people make Himalayas as a place of realization, they are taking realization out of the hands of a common man. Okay. Realization is the birthright of every human being. Wherever you are, you can realize. Right? Upanishads are there for a common man. Mandukya Upanishad is there, taking your waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Upanishad tells you wherever you are, you don't have to go to place, you don't have to get new experience. You look at your waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, you'll get realized. So the Upanishads are taking highest truth to low common people, and we are creating myths, fantasies, which will take truth from the people.
Shrouded in mystery and all this.
Yes. The problem is human mind likes glamour. Human mind likes
very dramatic
presentation.
Even for realization.
Then there's a problem also. I'll tell you what problem is that you have heard the solitary cells in jail or Indian freedom fighters.
Solitary confinement.
Solitary confinement they do. in people, they take and put a solitary cell, lock, hardcore.
Yeah.
Then what happens? They found in solitary cell, people start hallucinating. Okay. Understand? So what happens is that when people go to stay in some Himalaya, I'm speaking of very evolved people, no. Some ordinary people or some this thing. Some people go there, though not mature people. They go to Himalayas, they'll stay in a solitary place. They start hallucinating. See devatas, I've seen God. And they come and start talking nonsense. Then people think that, oh, this guy has gone to Himalayas. Because you don't know what's happening. His mind starts hallucinating. That's why our Puranas are full of examples for that. When Vishwamitra meditated, he didn't find Brahman, he found Menaka. Your fantasies will come true. When Dhruva meditated, he started seeing ghosts. When you sit in a very isolated place, away from civilization, if your mind is not pure, you start seeing fantasies. And these fantasy people start coming and telling. So many of these spiritual books are written like that. Sir, to find the truth, go inwards. Read Vedanta. Inner journey, you don't have to go to the street also. Wherever you are, find the truth. Truth is here and now. If you're looking for a truth outside somewhere, it is not truth. It's a myth. Is it clear? Anybody has a question on Zoom?
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
ಅದೇ ಗುರುಜಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಬೋಧಿ ವೃಕ್ಷದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬುದ್ಧ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬೋಧಿ ವೃಕ್ಷ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಬಿಂಬಿಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಗುರುಜಿ. ಹೌದು.
So Buddha got enlightened below a Bodhi tree. If you want to get enlightenment, find a tree. Don't sit below a coconut tree. So these are all what you call romanticism in spirituality. Fantasies in spirituality. Spirituality is not a tree. Spirituality is not a mountain. It's not a river. It's an inner journey. And many of the things in spirituality are told in terms of places because they have to give some map. So they say Ganga, Yamuna, you go at Triveni Sangama. In Triveni Sangama, take a path. Then you'll be free from sin. So you go to Triveni Sangama, Prayaga, take a dip again and again, you come back. But you don't understand Triveni Sangama. Triveni Sangama is 3 rivers are meeting. 3 rivers are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. It's called Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Told in the external symbols. Ganga and Saraswati meet Nasikagra here. Adna Chakra, if you take your attention and awareness to Nasikagra, Adna, that is the taking the dip in Triveni Sangama. So instead of that, you go and dip in Prayaga. So you meet Shiva and Kailasa, top of the head, Sahasrara, energies to go to Sahasrara, Kundalini. Instead of that, you go in to find a package tour to Kailasa Parvata. Will you find Shiva? Then Shiva is depicted sitting on the bull. So we have to find a Shiva. We have to go to Kailasa. I have to see a person who is sitting on the bull. You will not find because bull is Dharma. Dharma is depicted as the bull. Where will you find a person sitting on the bull? Then Shiva is shown as a person with jata. So that's why many monks will put a jata. Right? Without understanding, the jata is a yogic symbol. Your Sahasrara chakra is from here to here. So that attention to take your attention there, Shiva is shown with the jata. It's a yogic symbology. Without understanding yogic symbology, you start putting a jata. Above Sahasrara. So then, here to here. Okay. Dwadashanta. So then Shiva is a Chandramauli. Shiva wears moon on his head. So you start looking for a person with the moon on his head. Moon represents the mind. Okay. It is shown here because this represents a point in yogic symbology called Bindu Chakra. Bindu Chakra is a point of meditation. Okay. And Shiva is shown the moon on the head because Shiva is also totality, cosmos. So moon is there in the space. That is the Shiva.
In the cosmic Shiva, that's the
cosmic Shiva, moon is there. It is the head. In your body, Shiva is there. This is the Bindu Chakra. Bindu Chakra is the moon is there, back. Okay, there is a serpent on the neck of Shiva. You start looking for a person with serpent on the neck of the Shiva. Okay, there will be people who wear that also. Serpent on the neck of the Shiva. Serpent represents the what you call as ego. Ego which is burnt. Right? It's called Vasuki. This serpent, for most of the people, serpent gives trouble. Okay, ego, for a Gnani, serpent is an Abharana. He will wear a ego and perform. He will wear the ego, I am a guru, and teach. The serpent doesn't bother him. For an Adnani, ego will bother him. It's a poisonous. So, symbology, graphical language, if you don't understand, the scriptures will become
meaningless or kind of fabrication.
Bondage. This I'll call as Maya, myth created. And every organization will exploit this myth. You look at a biodata of a person, so many years he has spent in Himalaya, that means he is great. It's not true.
To complete the Shiva's description, the ashes is for the Vairagya and the Nilakanta is for?
Nilakanta represents the throat chakra is Vishuddha. Vishuddhi chakra. Right? Vishuddhi chakra Adidevata is Shiva. So Shiva is Nilakanta. Why is Nilakanta? Vishuddhi chakra is Adidevata is Shiva. So what happens is that Vishuddhi chakra filters the poisonous things which are dripping from the top of the head into the neck. The hormones are there. There are two types of hormones. One is beneficial to the body, other is not beneficial to the body. That hormone is filtered at this level. Also, when you take the air, right, the air will have dust particles and all. Ultimately, when it goes to the lung, before that, only pure, clean, filtered. And he is Nilakanta because Vishuddhi chakra, each chakra has a color. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Right? Red is the lowest level. Lowest represents lowest level of frequency. Violet requires the highest level of frequency. Highest level of spirituality is shown as violet. Violet, indigo, blue, green, red. Violet is Sahasrara, indigo, blue is throat chakra. The blue color is the indication of the position of throat chakra, indication of level of consciousness. And Shiva is a Damaru. Damaru is an instrument to indicate in the meditation a certain sound you hear. That sound you hear, you have gone through Vishuddha chakra. These are meditation symbologies. It is nothing to do with the place, a person.
Sure.
And Shiva has a Ganga Jatadhara. So from his head, water comes. Now, from head, what type of water comes? Please tell me. This Jnana Ganga. And if you take a bath in Jnana Ganga, you will get liberated. If you take in water Ganga, you will be purified. And Shiva has a Trishula. Trishula means Trishula. What is Trishula? We have pain. Adi Devika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. The pain will be killed with the pointer. The stick is Jnana. With one stick of Jnana, you kill 3 pains. Atma Jnana.
What are the 3 pains?
Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. Muruga sits on a peacock. I mean, he doesn't have any other vehicle. Right? Latest modern vehicles, he can't get. He is not eligible for modern vehicles, right? He could have got a Boeing or something. He takes a peacock. So you start looking for a Muruga with a peacock. Muruga peacock means his vehicle is enlightenment. The peacock has feathers, each has a eyes. So the eye is not a physically peacock. Enlightenment is more awareness. That is represented peacock. Now, graphical language and pictorial language, you start confusing reality. Then what should I say? You want to go to Himalayas? Go.
Interesting.
Any questions? Anybody has a question, please, on Zoom? Are you able to hear my voice? Anybody have a question? Gayatri?
No, Guruji.
Yes, sir. Next question.